Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Zia. Thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna take the new to me Harley, out for a ride. I'm sure you guys saw the video. Thank you for all the comments. A lot to talk about. I'm just taking an evening ride. It's gonna rain tomorrow. I haven't been riding much. Bike's been pretty much parked. And I thought family's going out for dinner, so I thought I'd take my bike out and just have a little chat with you guys and talk a little bit about various things. So let's go ahead and start up the bike and head on out. Guys, so first thing first, I haven't been making a whole lot of videos. It's been a tough few months for me. Just to keep this short, the first time in about 25 years I have been without a job. A company I recently worked for was starting to lose a lot of business, and they were obviously losing money, so they decided to let a bunch of people go. The standard term is downsizing, and unfortunately I was impacted by that downsizing end of January, and since then it's been just a struggle trying to find a job. The job market is not that great at the moment, contrary to popular belief, where news might say that, hey, there were a record number of jobs, but there were also a record number of unemployment, and a lot of those and a lot of people going out of the workforce, retiring. So I don't know if I trust the numbers, but I've pretty much every day applying to jobs, and it's just been tough. Barely have gotten interviews, and it's just, you look at the application and it says 100, 200, 300, 400 people have applied. So it's been a little rough these past few months, so I apologize. Not a whole lot of activities as far as YouTube videos from my end. Just trying to keep it together, stay positive, and hope for the best. So bear with me, stick with me. I'm sure if God willing, everything will be back to normal, and it will be great in no time. So anyway, so we're going out to dinner, so I thought I'd make a quick short video. My wife absolutely forbade me to ride with her in the car or drive the car. She wanted me to ride the motorcycle and get my stress level down and feel better again. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm super late. So didn't plan on making a video, so this is just off the dome, and I figure I'll give you guys an update, chat with you a little bit, and head to my destination. Although I do suspect my wife probably doesn't like my driving, because I do tend to drive a little faster than normal, and I think she's like, okay, I'll drive, you go on your bike. But hey, either way, I'm glad I'm on the bike. I'll tell you what, guys, it is a great stress reliever. Clears up your mind, and it's definitely therapeutic. Anybody who tells you otherwise either don't know how to, has not ridden a bike in their life, or whatever the reason may be. Riding a bike is definitely very therapeutic to me, at least, and yeah, it really helps a lot. But enough about that. Last time I brought a video out, last couple of videos were me buying this beautiful, new to me 2023 Harley Davidson Road Glide CVO limited 120 anniversary edition. I had just sold my Goldwing and I had my Harley, and I was going to keep my Road Glide, and then I walked into the dealership debating, you know, should I change my motorcycle, should I not? I saw this 120-year anniversary once before, but maybe like a few weeks before, I bought this at a different dealer, and they were charging almost like $38,000 or $40,000 for the bike. And I was like, man, it's a beautiful bike. It's a CVO. I've never dreamt of owning a CVO because it's always been out of the reach. You know, I think it's, I've mentioned this before, but I think it's just insanely priced, brand new, but used if you can get your hands on one. A clean example, like I was lucky, I found this clean example, 1,100 miles on it. Yeah, you can save a heck of a lot of money, because a lot of friends were like, oh, go for the new gen. I'm like, man, I love the new gen, I want that big new screen and all of that, but you know what, I also wanted to be able to afford a CVO once in my life. And yeah, I made this purchase, price was right, it was the end of the month, the trade-in value was better than I expected. It was even higher than what the same dealership offered me maybe 6 months prior, and yeah, I pulled the trigger. I've never looked back. I've been super happy with it. Bike's doing great. I haven't taken any road trips. I actually purchased this bike last year, so around September, right before end of September, I think, or somewhere around there, right before I took my Italy trip in October. That was a beautiful, fun trip. After, I don't know, 2-3 decades, I went back to Italy. It was great fun. Amazing 2 weeks I had there. So while I was there, obviously I'm like, man, I just bought this bike, I haven't put a single mile on it, and it's sitting at the house. So I've just been riding around here and there, and so far I'm at just ticked over 4,700 miles. And I got it, it was like 1,100 and change, something like that. So I just crossed 4,700 miles. So yeah, it's almost coming up to its 5,000 mile service. That's one of the downsides of owning a Harley, and of course an upside as well. Downside is that everybody is too bloody expensive. I'm not a very handyman or a mechanic type person, or you know, I don't tinker with the engines in any way. If I have to put some accessories on, I will go ahead and do that. That's not an issue. But so, you know, now I'm debating like, what the heck do I do? But you know, I found this company last year. I'm not sponsored by them. They're called Toomi, Toomi, and those guys are very reasonably priced. They actually come out to your house with their whole gear and floor mats and everything, do the oil change, clean up and go, and you will probably end up saving $180 at least, if not more, by going to the dealership. So yeah, I mean, so that's probably what I'm going to end up using, but still debating on that. I changed these handlebars. I got the 12-inch KST. Man, these bars are perfect. They sit my hand, my hand and arm position on these handlebars are just perfect. They look right. You know, they're not wide, even though on video you might not be able to see the end of the handlebars, but they are perfect. I've owned a similar bar from KST before, and so I'm already used to with these grips being a little bit wider, but they are very comfortable for sure. I didn't want to go too high. I just wanted to where my arms were kind of straight or slightly in a downward angle. A previous owner had put 10-inch bars on there, and that just didn't look right, and it did not feel right. So yeah, other than that, I mentioned in my previous video, I've done the footrest, the highway pegs, the standard one that comes with it connects to the crash bars and goes straight out sideways, and my feet wouldn't reach it, so I had to get it angled in, like a short angled in. So yeah, that really helps. But other than that, I haven't done anything. The exhaust pipe actually was part of the deal. 50 cals, tabs, zombie baffles. I remember I called them in my last video by accident zambles, but that was part of the deal. They threw that in for free, so I didn't pay for that. That's pretty much it. Oh, and the windshield. So 3 things I've changed, and that's about it. So that's why I jumped on the CVO, because it already comes with everything. Heated grips. It already comes with the Kahuna package on everything. Your foot pegs, your floorboards, passenger floorboards, the whole theme on a CVO, at least this year, this model generation or year, was the Kahuna design package. So I already love those, and didn't have to spend any money on it. I had to get all this stuff on my last Harley, so I'm thinking, like, okay, new gen, new shape, obviously great, a lot of content creators buy the latest and the greatest bikes to get their content going, and then they sell it, and then they buy another brand or another new bike, and I'm like, hey man, I don't know how to do it. I don't have that kind of money. I don't have any sponsorships. I don't have any partners on my YouTube channel. I'm not a big YouTuber, as you can see with my subscriber list. I just ticked over 7,000, so I really appreciate that. Thank you guys for subscribing and watching my videos. I hope you do enjoy them, and if you do, just a reminder, please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. All right, so new bike, close to 32,000, out the door, probably about the same price as I paid for this. Then comes the heated grips, then comes the addition of a bunch of other accessories. You're gonna easily, people spend a crazy amount of money, but you can spend easily 2-3 grand just to start off with, easily. I don't even have to change the seat on it. The CVO seat is so cushy, it is so comfortable. It's like you're sitting in an old Cadillac, like those old sofa style leather seats that had those buttons in them. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, like those old Grand Marquis cars and the old Cadillac cars, Lincoln cars had those really soft, pillowy type leather. That's what this feels like as far as comfort goes. It's heated, both passenger and rider, of course. The only thing I didn't like is that the back of the seat had this cushion which stuck out this much, and it threw me really far forward, and that was a little uncomfortable. But in about, I would say, another 1,000 miles more, that seat started to settle in. It was not broken in. The previous owner hadn't ridden it at all, so the cushion broke in, pushed me back a little further, seat a little bit down, and it's perfect. I was thinking about, man, I don't want to change the seat on this because it'll throw the look away of the CVO, but now it's like I can sit here and do miles and miles and miles with a smile on my face, and not having to worry about it. So, but yeah, so a lot of people in the Goldwing and Glizzy's event, if you're watching this video and I saw you, it was great to meet you. I really enjoyed meeting a lot of people, all the YouTubers. It was great fun. That was my second one in a row that I did, and it's a lot of fun getting to meet with people, because at the end of the day, the event said Goldwing and Glizzy's, but it's all about the biker community. There's a big camaraderie. It doesn't matter what brand you ride. I know a lot of people give Harley riders a little bit of hate, that a bunch of rude people, or they drive like jackasses and whatnot. But you got to understand, everybody gives hate to the Harley because of because how the person is acting, or how they're riding the motorcycle, and they all say, well, that's another Harley rider, and this and that. And I think that's all BS. All right, instead of hating on the brand Harley, hate on that person if you must. I don't say hate on anybody, but think of it from a different perspective. Okay, it's not the Harley that is doing the riding or acting a fool, it's the rider. So don't blame the brand. If you need to blame anybody, blame the rider, because the rider's acting a fool, not the Harley. So, and you know, a lot of people say you meet the nicest people on a Honda, and that's true, but that's true because Honda put out an ad at a time when you know, there were, you know, Harleys were associated with a certain kind of group, and Honda came out with this very smart and clever slogan: you meet the nicest people on a Honda. And it worked for them in the 70s, absolutely. I don't know when they came out with that. It was for Honda Cup, the original Cup advertisement, or when they came out with the CB, I have no idea. But to say that you only meet nicest people on a Honda, again, you know, I get it. You know, everybody's gonna be biased towards their brand, and that's cool. That's why I try not to keep brand loyalty, even though I tend to tip towards Harleys a little bit. But yeah, so coming back to the Goldwing and Glizzies, doesn't matter if you have a Goldwing, you have a Africa Twin, you have a Harley, Indian. There were a bunch of bikers there from all over, and yeah, we take jabs at each other about the brands, and we have fun, and you know, we have a little bit of a laugh. But at the end of the day, we're all camaraderie. There's a big camaraderie, man. We're all riders on the road. It doesn't matter who you are, what you ride, what you look like. Somebody needs help, I know somebody's gonna be stopping if they're on their bike. Doesn't matter what bike they're riding. So, but why I got this Harley besides the CVO is I started to realize the Goldwing. Now, I had the Goldwing for exactly a year, maybe a little bit over, 11 months, or 13 months. I put about 13,000 miles, I think, on it. I remember a little over 13,000 miles, and I enjoyed it. It's a smooth bike, it's powerful, sounds amazing for a 6-cylinder, flat 6, boxer 6, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I mean, you know, it's got the tech. I mean, you know, it's not the only tech king anymore. You know, the new Harleys, the new Indians, the new other bikes, you know, they're all good. It's just that what Honda's got is that, you know, that long lasting reliability. You know, that I'm not saying that this Harley cannot do 100,000 miles. I've seen people riding their Harleys on bike shows that have 200,000-300,000 miles on them on the same engine. It's all about, you know, taking care of your motorcycle, you know, making sure that you don't skimp out on service, do preventative maintenance, and any bike you have should last you a nice long time. You know, it's not like things don't go wrong in a Goldwing. Of course, that could happen on any bike, but Honda is generally very ironclad, reliable, and also sometimes accused of making boring motorcycles because of that, I guess. But hey, I mean, I tell you what happened with me is the bike was great, everything is great, the quietness, all that was good. But what did I stop doing? At that time, I also had my 21, or was it 20? I can't remember. 21, yes. Road Glide Standard, the bagger version, and same gen, just the regular base model bagger version. And every time I would park the Goldwing, I would get off. I started noticing that, you know how you turn back and you give your bike one look before you head wherever you're going, whether it's in your garage, going in the house, or, you know, just parked it outside and you're heading to your inside a building or something, and you kind of look back and give it one last look before you go, you know, just out of love or passion or whatever you might want to call it. That's started to stop with the Goldwing for me. What started to happen was I started to get a little bit bored with the Goldwing as far as the looks go. I mean, I think Honda played it safe with the Goldwing, so you know, I mean, although I think it's you know, heck of a, you know, great shape compared to the previous one. It's very sporty, very good looking, but to me it just, didn't do it after a while. I got bored with it real quick as far as the looks go and how it made me feel. Perhaps if I had the manual transmission, it would have been more engaging and good. I just, you know, even though that DCT is amazing, it's just I still prefer a clutch, you know. So yeah, I started to not turn back as much and look at the bike, and I would keep noticing my road glide more. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's the bike all 100%, you know, the reason why I changed it, but to me, I did find I got bored with the motorcycle a little bit quicker. It was just too, how should I put it? It was just, it has good technology. It has undeniable reliability. It just doesn't have that much of a character compared to a Harley. That's in my opinion. Now, don't get upset. I know the comment sections are gonna go crazy, but as far as character goes, you know, you have a air-cooled V-twin, you know, forget the Harley, you know, you got the Triumphs with the twins and the air-cooled ones, or oil-cooled. You've got this is, I think, cylinder heads are cooled on this one. Then you've got, you know, Moto Guzzi makes the air-cooled engine. You know, BMW with their Boxer engines had oil-cooled only, and I'm pretty sure they were air-cooled as well, but I mean, sorry, water-cooled as well. But you know, the old BMW Boxer engines, you know, you have a lot of bikes. Royal Enfield, you know, they make thumper engines. They have character, you know. Let's take BMW out for a while, but you look at all these, they're very nostalgic looking bikes, and they have a character that is undeniable. That includes the Harley, that includes the Indian. And to me, I really prefer old school looking motorcycles, you know, like nostalgic bikes. Harley designs are very nostalgic, you know. They still look like a design from 40-50 years ago, right? Same thing with the Indians. You've got the Triumphs are the same thing. You've got Moto Guzzi, same thing. So I know I'm leaving a couple more brands out, but I'm just giving you a quick example. So to me, what always draws me back to a Harley, and not necessarily just a Harley, but the Harley this time around again, is the nostalgic looks, you know, the way the engine sounds, the character, and the way it makes me feel. And that is why I decided to pull the trigger on this. Not only that, but guys, come on, you see the bike, you know. I mean, let me show you. Let me put a 360 up here. I mean, you see the bike, guys. I mean, if you haven't seen that video, I'll put it up here somewhere, and you can see when I picked up the motorcycle. I mean, it's got like, it's called, like, I forget what it's called, heirloom red. I think that's what the paint is called, heirloom red. And it's got an eagle on each side. The head is up there, wings go all across the body on each side. I mean, it's a beautiful bike. You know, I'm still thinking of a nickname for this motorcycle. I was thinking the Red Baron, but you know, I'm open. If you have any suggestions, throw it in the comment below. But I love the way this bike sounds. You know, obviously with the help of some aftermarket exhaust, and you know, I have the same feeling for Triumphs and Moto Guzzi. So you know, these are the three brands that I really like, and definitely would like to own. You know, another nostalgic looking bike like like any one of the Triumphs, like a Bonnie. You know, the Bonneville is classic. For Moto Guzzi, the new V7 Sport looks really good, and they also have an adventure bike, which I'm, you know, kind of thinking about, and it's a beautiful motorcycle. It's air-cooled V-twin 850 TT, or it's called V85 TT, and just go have a look at that bike. It is amazing. And Moto Guzzi, Triumph, these guys have all been making motorcycles for over a century now. So me, I'm a nostalgic design, or I should say, I draw more towards a nostalgic design, a bike that has a little bit of character, and that would make me feel good about riding it. So, and that's me. For anybody else, it could be any bike. It could be an electric bike, it could be whatever. Not for me, but this is not dogging anything. It's just letting you know how much I enjoy riding the Harley. It is comfortable. The CVO is really powerful, way more powerful than my old 107 Harley. And this is one of those bikes that just makes me smile, makes me feel good, gives me that sound, that vibrations that you're feeling. It's just it's at the end of the day, it's all about how that makes you feel. But yeah, man, I am enjoying the Harley. I keep getting drawn back to nostalgic looking motorcycles. Before getting the Harley, I was also, I have a Triumph and a Moto Guzzi on my list as well. And yeah, man, I don't have brand loyalty. I have a little bit maybe towards the Harley, because I've owned, this is my 4th Harley now. But I've owned 2 Hondas, a BMW, I've owned a Buell, I've owned a few other bikes. And yeah, I mean, I guess I can say that I tip a little bit towards the Harley side, but I took a wrong turn. I'm trying to think where to go from. So yeah, I mean, coming back to what I'm saying, I just want to be able to own as many motorcycles as I can in my life and experience all of that and share some of those experiences with you. I will say one thing, and I've said this in many videos, and I think this is where Honda is losing out. When it comes to the culture, Honda cannot come close to it, unfortunately. So that was also another reason. It's like, okay, now I got a Honda, and I found myself riding a Goldwing into these Harley dealership events, and it was all cool. People think people might have this theory that somebody said, I remember in that Goldwing and Glizzy's behind me when we were standing inside, that, dude, you should have told me this was a Goldwing event. I brought my Harley. And I turned around and I was like, so? It doesn't matter. I brought my Harley too. I've taken my Goldwing to the Harley dealerships as well in the events over there. Who gives a damn? Nobody cares. Nobody cares at all. And yeah, nobody did. A matter of fact, a lot of people would come up to me and ask me questions about my Goldwing. A Harley owner would do that. So yeah, I mean, it's just the culture, man. The culture, Harley's got a strong hold on the culture. I don't know, and I hope that all of Harley's decline in sales and everything kind of stables off, because I mean, it would be a sad day if Harley gets into a financial issue, and not that I would think that Harley would ever shut down. I don't think it's too big to shut down in the motorcycle world. There will always be help and aid, whether it's private equity or government stepping in, but the culture is too strong. And while I'm saying all these good things about Harley, let me say a couple of bad things as well. Okay, it's too expensive to maintain, right? While parts are expensive, accessories and stuff, but the good news is that there's so many companies that make parts for Harley. There's just too many options. All right, I think there are some Harley dealers that take advantage of customers. And I'm not just going to say some Harley dealers, okay? There are a lot of dealerships, motorcycle or not, that take advantage of buyers that are coming in. But there's some Harley dealers, their method of their practice of making a sale and how they do that is not very friendly, or I would say not very doesn't leave you with a good experience, or leaves a bad taste in your mouth. This is, of course, from people that I've heard. I've bought 3 Harleys here since I've moved to Georgia 25 years ago, and I haven't had a bad experience yet. Sure, have I had to fight for them to give me a better price on the trade and stop treating this sale like you want to retire off of it? Yes. At the end of the day, it always works out. But it's just, you know, it's just that some deals start off really backwards, and that kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth. So, and I'm sure that's not just Harley, but I think that is one of, I think greed is one of the biggest declines for some Harley dealers, and hence a lot of these dealers are shutting down, or some of these dealers, I should say, have shut down because of the practices they've had on how to make a sale. So anyway, but yeah, I don't even know what this video is about. You know, this is about me. My wife's calling me because she's like, "Where are you?" And I'm here. So this is just about me taking a short ride. Ugh, bumpy road. Well, I mean, this was just about me taking a evening ride, clearing my head, talking to you guys, letting you know what's happening in my life. You know what I mean? So stick around, you know. Hopefully things will change for me as well, and I'll be able to bring some good content for you guys soon. And I'm here. So leave, you know, let's start a discussion. Keep it civil. Leave some comments below. Hit that like button, guys. Hit the subscribe button. Appreciate you watching. Until next time, ride safe.